Enough of that shit. It's Schmuel Buckman, and my camera and all that shit is messed up. But I will fix it once Danny Boy gets here. Ran home and thought, well, since half the goddamn universe is streaming, I might as well too. And I did not do my regular show tonight because I was on Mira Musk, and I had postponed on those guys because of other stuff during the week. So this was the night, man. And God, Jesus. Excuse my lighting and whatnot. I don't know where the blue is coming from, but must be. Let's just go to that OBS filter and set it at default and see if that helps at all. But in any event, we'll get to it. Because if I do this, the light's going to bother you people. Hey, Taz, I'll see you guys in a little bit. Not coming on, but I will be watching Pat Dixon. And if you're not watching Pat on Rumble these days, you're missing a fantastic show. Wow. In any event, I'm here. I had talked to Dan and a couple of other awesome people, and we decided to do this. And I did not realize that KB is streaming, Ray is streaming, God knows who else is streaming. So luckily, I don't have that many viewers in the first place to lose to that. But I did not want to go earlier because I didn't want to go up against Nice Podcast because I knew he was going to have a show and I actually wanted to watch it. So that's funny. Ray doesn't count. Oh, Ray counts. Ray counts. Yeah, it's funny, man. I put up Brennan has, like, I don't know, I want to say he lost his mind or some shit, but he's now insulting. That didn't even work. He's insulting what's his name's Joe Russo, his wife's kid. His wife, I'm sorry, I don't think his wife has a kid, but that's also shit up there too. And he, what do you call it? He's like insulting her teeth or whatever. And the woman is like, she has MS and she's got a rough life, man. And it's a big struggle for her. But I don't know. Do we really need to get that detailed? Like, is that the thing? We're going to start attacking spouses? I mean, they've never attacked his, as far as I know. Um, and if other people had, that would be cool. Excuse me for a second. So I ran home. Cupcake, if you want a link, man, I'm happy to send it to you. Johnny Payton, number 8. Making fun of innocent people's looks is pretty low, but it's all part of the biz. It, I mean, it is and it isn't, right? Like making fun of I get it. I get it. But she's a wife and whatever. Oops, Johnny Payton, number 8. Melton makes remark about KB's wife, though. Yeah, but they make comments about each other's wives. This is not a what do you call it? It's not a I don't know. It's just she's just such an innocent bystander and such an easy target, but um whatever. And I met her at Dabble Con 2, and she's really sweet. And from what I understand, they've been together since like high school or something. So good on Joe for sticking with her. And all right, Dan will be here in about 10 minutes, and we do not have no Crumb tonight. He was on earlier. All right, Taz, the resident artist. I think Mr. Brennan cannot admit to being wrong, so he has to play everything up. Hopefully, he's going to reach a misery that will bounce him back to being cool again. But man, it's too late. It may be late, like, but it's never too late. I don't know, man. No, don't you know? Uh, Cigarette Jones, no Dave. Dave is over with uh the other people tonight, and so and hadn't talked. I talked to Dave earlier today. I hadn't talked about doing this. This was sort of just popped up, and G Rob. Melton jokes about KB's wife after KB accused him for months of not speaking about KB's wife. Wait, Melton jokes about KB's wife after KB accused him for months of him not speaking about KB's wife. I'm sorry. Are you saying that, wait, KB was complaining that Melton wasn't talking about KB's wife? That one's a little confusing to me. And Dave was getting spanked by Permaseal. Yeah, is Permaseal like the last super chatter on MLC? No, that G Rob. I'm not sure that make any sense. I see, G Rob, here's the story, right? It's you. So it it's not you that which this is what we're trying to figure out, right? Like it's not, is it you that didn't was like we didn't make sense, the chat didn't make sense? Because the problem is KB never makes any sense to me. So I'm totally believing what you said. Okay. Um, cool. And Scoo, is it wait, get it up there. Whoa, why were we not showing? Scooney, was that a riddle? Um, uh, Opinion, it doesn't. You know, uh, Nick from Fort Wayne, it didn't make sense. Uh, Opinion wants you to rewrite it there, G Rob, but I think I understand it. Um, and you know, KB's confusing, so we all get that. And numero uno Josh Denny fan, who is not a Schmuel Buckman fan. Go to bed, old man. Your brain is working slower than ever. Uh, it's slow. All right. Melton wasn't talking about KB's wife, but KB was accusing him for months. Yes, exactly. Well, if KB does that, right? I mean, let's remember the back in Atlantic City when Bob Levy got a phone call from Chad. So KB assumed this was the first Atlantic City. KB assumed that they were plotting against him because that's what KB does. And KB's a just a strange dude, man. I don't get it. Permaseal, you only have sober watchers. Um, I doubt that, but they are welcome here. Their host is always going to be sober, so they should be. And if I lose it, I promise to lose it on stream live. Um, that's so funny. Um, Melton is a bitch. Melton is a, and then I won't post it all. Melton is a bitch, and yeah, I don't think so. I like Melton, and when I say I like people, it doesn't necessarily mean like I like Ray. Ray's a friend, but Patrick, not a friend. I think he was supposed to be doing a stream from a bar tonight, and I forgot to go. But I like him. I think he's talented, and I think he's done. Uh, he's he's smart. Like I think what he's done with the show and what he turned it into, and going with super tips and all that stuff. I think that that's a an admirable thing. Leo Gunn, he may have at Zach Bradley. All right, I don't know who Zach Bradley is. Sorry, guys. Let's go down here. Leo says, I'm not sober. Johnny Payton, number 8, ask when I'm getting super tips or any of that thing, that stuff. So here's the deal, guys. I actually have it. I have that. I have a PayPal. I have a Venmo. Um, I have a pending Patreon. I have all that stuff, but I do not know how to integrate it into what I'm doing here. I enjoy my favorite part of all this is interacting with the chat. I like the guy. I like you guys, and I like the questions you ask. And so I don't know. I don't know how to integrate it yet. I'm gonna figure it out. Um, Money's not a huge issue. Um, as far as streaming and stuff goes. I mean, it's not a huge issue. And of course, I would love to have it to cover some of the expenses that this is costing me. Um, StreamYard's like 500 a year now, close to it. Just spent a couple of hundred, almost $300 on a mic, stuff like that. So I'd like to cover those expenses, but I don't, it's not a money making venture. And so I don't want to lose what I feel like I have for a few bucks, but I'll figure it out. Oh, Zach Bradley, there you go. Zach Bradley is a person in the chat, and I guess a member of our chat community. Um, I like you, Schmuel. Thank you, Zach. And I like you too until the moment you start telling me I'm something that I'm not. Um, Leo Gunn, I stand with beloved chatter and Carlos Danger. Uh, I'm kind of not knowing what's going on here, but I know the three of you are out of the Ray business, at least temporarily. Although I keep trying to get Carlos to come back in, and we've got the stunning and gorgeous Dan from Nice
Mhm.
Podcast Stupid joining us. Hey, Dan.
Shmuel, you were like the star of the day, man.
Hey,
Everybody's talking about Shmuel.
oh, really? That's great. I'm not. Look, I'm not going to complain about it. It's fun. It's fun being talked about, but you know, it was not the goal. You know,
I
so
thought you did a fantastic job. I haven't seen the whole episode. I was out doing some errands, so I saw the beginning, middle, end. But what I did see is I think you struck the right balance of being a good sport, but also not being a pushover, having a good time, being relaxed, being yourself. I thought it was great. I thought you really comported yourself really well. I obviously had done the show a little bit, a couple of weeks ago, and I was probably a little too deferential and too kind of playing along with it, and kind of got allowed myself to be a little bit of a punching bag, which is fine. I'm good. I'm good being kind of self-deprecating in that way, but I think you really hit the tenor a lot better in your interview. So congratulations. I thought that was really good.
thanks, Dan. And Dr. Chow, the Mega G, Buckman really shined on Mira Musk tonight. Thanks for coming on. Um, Chow, it was a lot more fun than I thought it was going to be. I have to admit. And I had said on the show that I had gotten DMs from people. You know, being old, there's like these phases that you go through in life, right? When you're a child, everybody tries to protect you, and then when you're old, it starts again. Right? You're in the middle, they couldn't give a fuck what happens to you. But when people knew that I was going on Mir Musk, they were like, "You're being trolled. They're going to troll you. They're going," and I was like, "It's okay. I'll handle it." But it was very funny to me that people were concerned, and I mean, it was legit concern. It wasn't bullshit. So uh, it was fun, and I had a fun time. Um, I'd suggest that Mir not pound down as many twisted iced teas as he does during a show, but that's just me. And because I don't think I think at the I was trying to ask him questions, you know, like I'm really in because I'm interested. And it's like, okay, so we did the interview. I did, an hour and whatever it was, half 45 minutes. And let me ask you guys some questions. And uh, Mir was getting frustrated with me and annoyed because I think maybe he trolls people so much he thought I was trolling him, but I was sincerely asking a question. And
I heard someone in chat call you a concern troll, which I thought was it was an
third
interesting
troll,
term.
yeah,
That you do kind of this, like you're overly concerned and like looking out and asking probing like what you do with Ray, or even we were doing Mir, and it's kind of like almost like sort of a psychological, it's almost like a kind of a guerrilla troll tactic of being a concerned troll. I thought that was kind of a funny call out. And no, I
yeah.
think you're a genuine guy, and and hopefully, like when I told you, and I was definitely one of the cheerleaders of going on that show, and I knew
Right.
you'd do fine, and I think hopefully I was the opposite of being like, oh, I'm worried about you. Like I'm like you're a pretty intelligent.
No, and I wasn't. It wasn't that people were worried about me. It was that people were warning me what I might be getting. You know, that look, you might be getting set up, and look, that's a risk. Um, so I'm gonna do some chat stuff here because I want to engage
Yeah,
these guys.
absolutely.
Opinion: if G Rob is saying Melton never talked about his wife, then she's incorrect. Whether KB made those claims before Melton did, then who knows? KB watched Melton's in the morning before the rift. Um, look, let's be honest, guys. KB winds up having a rift with everybody. So, you know, if I'm gonna err on the side of who's at fault in a internet battle and it's KB versus just about anybody, I'm gonna fall on the side of just about anybody. And there you go. But KB does have what's the word that I'm looking for? It's like he does have his followers, man. If I put up like an even remotely negative tweet, he's got like 4 or 5 guys that will just like smash me, and it's all because
Seems like
KB
that
is
army's
owning
dwindling
me.
though, doesn't it, a little bit?
Yeah, it's only a few people, but I've only experienced it recently, and so, oh, Dan, you're being trolled by Nick in Fort Wayne. Diaper Dan.
Oh, that's that we
Uh,
actually, that's an affectionate term
oh,
from
is it?
some of my many online fans. It's a kind of a, I know you were asked, you were even saying like, "Hey, one of these days I want you to tell about some of these stories about all these like side characters that I've engaged with,"
Right.
and so yeah, one of these sort of things where somebody in one of the communities I was in just somehow made like this rumor that I was like I wore diapers, or that I had like a diaper fetish, and it kind of took on a life of its own. So now people, say diaper gang, diaper army, like even the DWO hat, it says Dan World Order. People like that's diaper world order.
Diaper.
So, I kind of roll with it. A lot of this stuff I find funny. I think even like all hey, you can't run from it if people like label you with something and it's funny and people are laughing. If you fight it, then it makes it worse. I lean into it. I find a lot of these little references funny, and if and sometimes I see people in other chats of other shows saying, Diaper Dan sent me or something, and I'm just like, that's fucking hilarious to me. That like if that's your coded reference to me, and it gives me a little bit of, it gives a laugh, then hey, go for it, man. I think it's funny.
Yeah. I had to lean into the boomer stuff in the beginning because I thought it was so funny. Getting called old, just a million comments, right? Uh, insulting me. And I'm just like, I'm laughing because I've watched dozens of shows where dozens of people had problems with their mic or their software or something. And it's like, oh, it's okay. But when I do it, this is really, I'm copying off Pat Dixon here, but when I do it, it's like, oh, those boomers, they don't know anything. And
Yeah. Chad still
s-
hasn't figured out how to like he has his Rodecaster, but he still has a mic that crackles all the time and the audio is bad. And then if you point it out to him, he gets all butthurt about it. He's like, "You're trolling me." No, no, we're actually like trying to give you like good advice of maybe you want to like figure out, maybe put a guard or something on your mic, or check get a new cord maybe, or test it out. But he just goes to just becomes a little stubborn little baby about it. Whereas, I think all things considered, you're not necessarily the most tech savvy of all these people, but you've figured it out. You got it. It works. And even like, I've seen kind of your show evolve and you kind of add backgrounds and you got things going on and stuff. So it's like, you don't really need a lot of frills to be able to do this. It's not, this isn't, you can do a silly little thing like I've done with lights in the background, or you can just have it be a little more dialogue, or you can have a green screen and show something in the background. And so,
I,
audio is the most important thing to me. As long as you have good audio, then everything else is fine.
that's what Moody when Moody talks to you, if Moody talks to you about doing a show, he will tell you the first thing is content, the second thing is audio, and
Yeah.
I can't disagree with him. Cigarette Jones, will you still try to get Ray to do a ham tasting stream? As my audio shits the bed here. The answer is yes, but I have not approached him how to do it. I have to. I don't know. I don't know how to do the logistics. Okay, that's first of all, because it's like, do I want Ray in my house? Right?
Has Ray never had a honey of a ham before? Like, is this like something exotic to him? That was a typical
I
like
don't. He's
holiday
not
treat
had
for
a
us as a
honey
kid.
baked ham from Honey Baked Ham,
Oh, okay,
right?
that's the catch.
But I called Honey Baked Ham, and she was essentially said not essentially said to me. She said to me, "Call me on Monday." This is apparently one of their biggest times of the year for ham sales. So it's like, uh, so I will do that. I mean, I could order, you can order it online and stuff, but I had questions. And because I'm wondering, like, if they can cut it up for me, um, excuse me, if they can cut it up for me and they can, like, make plates and they do sides and stuff, maybe what I do is I get it that way and then do it in my office, right? Where I was broadcasting from earlier. And
But is this more of a like Ray's like a bit for him where it's like, what's the deal with airline peanuts? Like it feels like there's a little bit of that element of like he found like this little sort of thing like, you call honey baked ham, but you can't get a ham, like
well, it's
you
no,
think he finds it
it's
funny.
classic Ray. What happened was he walked into a honey baked ham store thinking he could get like a dinner plate of honey baked ham. And they were like, "No, that's not how it works." And it's always raised confusion with something everyone else knows, right? Like, when has anybody stopped in a honey baked ham store and bought a honey baked ham? And if you've ever bought from them, you know how this all
Well,
works.
Ray's living in a different world than a lot of us. Like Ray kind of does his own thing. And we're gonna get this Leo gun comment, but before we do that, one last thing before I forget about it. One of the other funny Ray stories, he was I don't know if it was KB was talking about it the other day, or I don't know how it came up, but maybe it was Stevie Lou brought it up. But Ray had gone to some like hipster coffee shop in, I don't know, some part of New York City where it's, one of these little trendy little areas and it's all kind of, trust fund kids and, hipsters and whatnot. And he wanted to sit down there. And it's one of those like you don't like camp out all day at. It's not like you go to like, like Starbucks will kind of allow you to camp out and work, or even a Dunkin' Donuts. It's more of a like, yeah, buy your $10 espresso and your frou-frou kind of thing, and either take it to go or sit down for 15 minutes and you're out of here. And he wanted to like camp out, like he wanted to buy like the cheapest coffee and then like sit there for like 5 hours and like write jokes or whatever. And somebody kind of at the shop sort of gave him kind of the how long are you gonna be here kind of like thing or whatever. And he's just and he got
The
all mad. He's like,
nudge.
I bought my coffee. Like I paid, yeah, you bought like a single shot espresso for like $3 and you thought that was going to buy you 4 hours of hanging out at this like tiny little hipster coffee shop in Brooklyn or wherever the heck it is. uh
Uh,
typical Ray of just like not reading the room, not understanding like this is not really the you're not like they don't really want a guy in a tracksuit that's 50 years old hanging out with the 20-year-olds that are hipsters.
right. And Johnny Pate #8. It's some tiny cafe in Brooklyn with 6 seats and 300 square feet of space. It's a tiny
There you
shop,
go.
but this is but this is typical Ray. I don't know if you guys remember, but at last Dabbleverse, um, his flight was like late at night, and the hotel checkout was like at 1 o'clock, and so he asked the guy if it would be okay if he used like the conference room or for a little while to stream, and they were like fine with it. But like 2.5 hours later, the dude's like, "You got to go." Like, you know, you just asked me to do it. I guess the guy thought like he had a business thing he had to do or something like that, you know? And but that's right. Yeah, he's not great at reading the room with some of those things. But then again, a lot of people are like that. So it's not just a Ray thing, but it's funny when Ray does it because it becomes part of his character. So, and to answer your question about Ray and the honey baked ham thing is he went in and told the story. He didn't get his ham, and then he told it on the pod, and then people were making fun of it, and Ray was trying to tag it with more jokes, and I thought, oh, this would be a gimmicky thing to do to get Ray to come in, but hopes hope large breasts,
I
crazy
love Hope.
voice. That the
I love Hope. I am a
Yes.
Hope. I am a unabashed Hope fan. I think she's fucking hilarious
So Hope's Bar is in well, I don't want to say. Hope's Bar is
in
in
Astoria, right?
it's in Brooklyn. And it's near where Hope does her show. It's in Brooklyn. It's pretty near to where I work. And so might
Have
get in
you met
touch with
Hope
her.
before?
Good. Only seen her. Not met. Didn't met.
Yes, Peter Sky Parker. I am a Hope dope. Yeah, 100%. I am an unmitigated. I am Hope. There's something that Hope does to me that it's like sometimes you just have like certain women that it's just like I don't know what it is about this gal, but she does crazy things to me. But yeah, I mean, obviously I'm half of it
I'd
is a
lose it.
joke, right? But
Yeah.
she definitely could make me do stupid things. She's the kind of girl. If I was a younger man, I could see myself dating, and then I'm like, what am I doing? Like you wake up one day, you're like, oh man, this is this was a mistake.
I
But
just
she seems like a
picture
sweet
Hope.
girl.
Yeah, but I just picture Hope as the girl like you meet. She's been drinking, you sleep with her, and everything about your night is amazing.
Yeah.
Like, just
There's no way to have.
amazing.
I said this to
And
somebody.
you
There's
wake
no way
up
to have a.
with, yeah, you wake up with like stars in your eyes and you've got dreams of the future. And Hope is like, "What's your name?"
Yeah. Yeah,
And get the
you
fuck
were just
out.
like another another fun night for her. I said to somebody, I said, if you were like you should only be so lucky if you're doing like an online dating thing and you get like a Bumble thing and you meet like a Hope and you go out with her because no matter what happens with the relationship, no matter what happens with the night, there's no way you're not gonna have a fun night with like, going out on a first date with a Hope. Even if it's like an unmitigated disaster, you're gonna have a
Exactly.
great story and
Exactly.
she's gonna be fun and you're probably gonna get wasted. She's probably gonna be buy me another drink, buy me another drink. And you're like, okay, I'll buy you another drink. And you don't know where the night's gonna go. It could end up like you said, it could end up, you could end up could end up in something really crazy situation. But it's you should only hope to have as good of a first date as you could have with somebody like a Hope. That's going to be one to remember.
Cool. I want to read Leo's chat here because it's another reason I like Tio Hank. Schmuel, Tio Hank said on MLC that you're punching outside your weight class by wifing Cookie. And you land in Astoria 9, according to him. That's very funny. Uh, Cookie's fantastic. And
How does
what do
he
you
know
call it?
Cookie?
Met her in Atlantic City.
Ah, okay.
She actually was. I was not invited to Kevin Brennan's room. Um, was not among the
She
people.
worked her way up there, right?
And she was there. She went up with Tio. I think Tio made her go. And she sent me the text and she's like, "Oh, I'm in Brennan's room." And I'm like, "You're kidding me." And she sent a picture. Um, and and then I went up. But she did it. She really went just to fuck with me, because it was like, "Oh, you're not allowed. I'll get it." And I thought it was very funny. She's a pisser, man. Uh, and she gets us into uh she's gotten us into a lot of stuff um that I wouldn't have been able to do. And and she does definitely make me nuts. Every now and then. But Cookie, unlike me, is Greek, so that's always I laugh because I always say, "Oh, I wanted to marry a white girl, but I married a Greek," and but it's like such a different. It's so different than me, you know. Like my family, we barely talk, we barely do much together. We don't really do anything together, and her with family, it's like they do everything, you know, and
Did you have
it's
like that my fat Greek wedding kind of thing when you got married? Was it one of those ordeals like
no,
like
you know what? I think they were so desperate to marry her off. We've been married about 14 years. She's younger than I am, but not that much. But they they were like, you know, you have to go to the church. We got married at a Greek church, so you have to go and meet with the priest. And the Greeks have their own like pre-cana, you know, with the Catholics where you're supposed to go and whatever.
Mm, yeah.
None of that shit with us. And there never became a question of was I going to convert to Greek Orthodox like that. It wasn't going to happen, but it never even came up, and people were telling me that it was going to,
Mm.
and people were warning about her. Um,
I love when they have those
let's
fairs where where they have the food and the lamb and you show I used to do that a ton when I lived up in New Hampshire. They had like a Greek Orthodox church. They would always have like the summer festival
s-
or whatever with tons of great food and you'd pay like $20 or whatever and you'd eat like a king.
we go to one annually that's in shit, I don't know what town it is. It's like, and I'm going to say Saint George the Great or something. I don't know what it is, but it's a Greek Orthodox church, but it's a campus essentially.
Mm.
You know, a bunch of buildings, and they have a Greek festival every year, and it's a big thing down there. Not just among the Greeks, but they do, you know, like the Greek dancing. You know, where they're all dancing in the circle and
Oh
all
yeah.
that. And the cookster, she's out there, man, dancing. She's into it, and they just have a lot of fun. It's like it's almost as much fun as a bunch of Irish stuff, but without the alcohol. Like there's alcohol, but nobody, not at none of the things that I've been to in the last few many years, um, that's Greek, have there been like drunks or anybody, you know, asking you to like, you know, hold their jacket while they throw up, stuff like that. And it's pretty funny. So Ray, talking about Ray, Leo Gunn, who remembers how many times Ray live streamed from the ER with his foot problems and then would get indignant when the nurses told him he had to leave. I don't remember the part about the nurses telling him he had to leave, but he's funny. And Johnny Payton, number 8, exactly, Leo, so entitled. I don't think he's entitled. I just don't it's almost like it's more innocence than it is being entitled. But, you know, everybody's allowed to have their opinion. Um Dues cheater. Felicia is on MKE talking guns and ranges. Well, I bet that's a fucking rip. Huh? Let
Was
me
she
just
really
shut
on
down
with
my stream
MKE?
and we'll all head over there right now.
Yeah, that sounds almost unbelievable.
Yeah, yeah. Nothing would surprise me. Nothing would surprise me. God protect Pat Dixon, dues cheaters. That's actually pretty funny. Um, so let's do. I just want to look at a couple of other of these. Uh, Johnny Payton, Schmuel, didn't you have some weird wait face to face with Chad or someone in AC? Chad and I did not have a weird face to face. I went up to Chad and I said, "I'm
By the
Schmuel.
way, how
Welcome in."
tall is he?
I think he's 5'8", and I'm only 5'8", so it's like, you know, it's not like I don't, you know, I like to believe that he has lifts, like he wears those particular Nikes. They're like orange and colored, the high tops,
Yes.
and I swear to God, there's lifts in them. And he's probably like 5'7" ish, and he's got the lifts that get him
He's
up
got
to
the
five
Nike
eight.
Air kind of lift thing going on with the.
I am convinced that they have lifts, and and the only reason why I say I was joking, I was looking on Amazon one night, like jokingly around that time, and I saw that they made lifts. Like there was a Nike, there were like high top sneakers, and then underneath there were like a lift ad for sneakers, and I was like,
Mm.
oh, oh, that makes perfect sense. So,
He's always on his tippy toes in these pictures. That's a big thing. I don't know if you've seen that whole thing where people catch Chad doing like on his tippy toes and like sort of almost like Joe Rogan kind of always does, like where he like leans his chest in like to try to make
right.
himself look bigger, and Chad kind of does this lean in with on his tippy toes. It's I mean I'm about the same height as you guys too. I'm like a 5'8", 5'8.5" kind of height or whatever. I'd say 5'9", but probably more like 5'8". Um, but
It
I'm
it
past the
gets
point of
shorter as you get
caring.
older. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm past the point of caring. Like, oh my god, you look short. It's like, yeah, and I'm average to slightly below average height. It's like, okay, that's my lot in life. My whole family's short, so I actually actually made out better than a lot of people in my family. So I'll take it.
5'8", look, the thing with being 5'8" is it's short, but right, it's okay. But like when I see a guy's like 5'6", I like that to me is like
Or like
really short.
Stansel's height, like he's a little midget. I've never seen him in person, but people say he's like 5'4" or five,
Oh
maybe even
yeah,
five
and
three.
it's I w-
That's
I won't
tough.
I won't tell it tonight, but I will tell you about at some point a dating story and the chick telling me about some guy at his height. So anyway, Johnny, just to finish this real quick, I shook hands with Chad. We talked for a few minutes, nothing serious, nothing, whatever. Um, Smiled at each other. Atlantic City was kind of a place to bury the hatchet with a lot of people. That's what a lot of people were doing with Chad. I didn't want to take up a lot of his time. Um, and I thought that like everybody was doing that. Even Melton like offering him Hackamania and stuff. And then he went on the air and he just shit all over everybody. Uh, and called with I to me it was like classic Chad. He kind of had a chance to get in or get back. Um, Not even get in, but just like establish some relationships with these guys. And I thought it would help advance what he's trying to do on the web and stuff. But he it didn't last an hour. The guy that I had the weird relationship with, I'm saying obviously I'm old and slow, but the weird interaction was Rob Saul. Um, I thought we solved it, and then Rob was threatening to kick my ass, and was
In
uh,
person?
tweeting.
Or
He's Rob Saul, so it wasn't going to
yeah.
be in person. It
Oh
was going to
no, on
be
a show
after
like
I
a
was
couple
around
days
the
later.
casino all day long, everywhere. He left, and then he was threatening. He was on Twitter and stuff. He said something to Deb and a couple of other people before he left, like he was looking for me. And then
Oh
like
yes, I do. Now I
on his
remember
way
this. Yes,
out, and then he was like,
I want to
"Oh,
kick
come back,"
Schmuel's ass.
you
It's
know.
like what?
And um, I felt so bad for Deb because she was really the middle, um, in the middle of it. Rob kept like texting her. She had done the same thing I did, right? Like try to smooth things over, and
A week
they
earlier,
did.
he was calling her a Deb is gross. She's a disgusting C word. He was saying like the most awful things you could say about like a woman, basically. And what did Deb do? Which is why this is part of why I love her. She went right up, she saw him from afar and she went right up behind him and came over and, hey, Rob, it basically introduced herself, got right up in his face and it was like killed him with kindness. And Rob it was a pussycat after that. Like, and I think, Rob is not, I think he plays a tough game online, but then you see him in person. It's a whole different story. Dave Sarah. We go
Dave,
from
did
Schmuel
KB give
Hello.
you
Talkman,
permission to be here?
the star of the show,
Yes,
to Dave Sarah, the most controversial figure in the Dabbleverse
I
this week.
know. I don't like Povo's Clown Town, and all of a sudden I'm excommunicado.
Do you really not like it, or are you just trying to start beef with those guys? Or are you just
Honestly,
goofing?
it's worse than that. I'm indifferent.
Ooh.
Literally could
Indifference
care
pretty
less.
bad.
I like Big W. I like Malware Scan. He's a real fucking good Yahudi. But the rest, I can literally care less. Oh no, I'm gonna miss out on the Hank Hill impression. Ah, whatever will I do?
So
It's fine.
I,
How's it
I
doing,
don't.
Schmuel?
Povo's Clown Town goes on like forever, and it's just guys talking, and there, I guess, some interesting stuff on it, but I've never gotten into it, and unless there's somebody interesting on there, but it's like, who wants to listen to Liam for 2 hours? So that's my question. So Dave, Leo Gunn has a question for you. How sore is your butt after Permaseal spankings on
I know
MLC?
you gave me a good tongue lashing today too. Gave me a good old tongue lashing.
Oh, did he?
It was
For
fun.
what was the
He was calling me a cokehead. Fucking, I'm a junkie. Can't trust me. Cut me loose.
He said if he sent you enough money, you'd kill yourself, right, or something like that.
Yeah, if he gave me $200,000 today, I'd kill myself. I'll be done. I'll be dead in 6 months. And this guy grossly, I mean, he thinks I'm like a poor schmuck. Now, yes, last year for Hackamania, I was unable to go to Hackamania because I didn't have the funds. That was a 5-month period where I was out of work. So, oh well.
yeah.
But other than that, I've been pretty responsible. I've been a pretty responsible guy. But it's all just fun and games. It's good natured ribbing. He might mean that. He might 100% mean that. He might be laughing. He might not be trying to engage in good natured ribbing. I assume that he is. And there's not a whole lot you can do to change my mind. And so if he wants to say those words about me, I assume he's joking and I laugh because it's funny. Just like convalescent home manager is funny.
Did
Calling me.
so is he like I asked earlier, is he like KB's biggest super chatter or
At the moment, for sure, I think
He's
got
the
to
last remaining whale. He's the only
He's-
one. He's the one keeping the ship afloat.
Yeah, they come and go. They come and go, the whales, don't they? They
Yeah,
come
it's
and
funny
go.
how that works out.
They all kind of rotate around. They end up here, end up there. They leave, they come back. Borgo yesterday, just to stick it to somebody, gave KB $100 just to prove that he wasn't going to be hurt by the tariffs. Like somebody's like, oh, the Christmas lights are going to have a 250% tariff, blah, 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 blah. And he sent $100 like, I'll be fine. So it's just, you know how these people are. They get their kicks off of sending the money. And I was there. I know how it is. I'm still kind of there, but I know how it is.
yeah,
I ain't hating on him. It's
don't-
fun though.
yeah. I don't mind sending it, but I like Dan's method of sending $2 super chats and stirring up trouble.
Yeah, that's how you're
Well,
supposed.
KB had a
that's how it should be
comment because
done.
Kumia sent, I think, Melton $10, and KB's like, wow, yeah, I thought Kumia was a millionaire, wow, and it's like, yeah, that's how you stay a millionaire. You don't send $100 willy nilly to people to impress them via super chat. Like that's a good recipe for not staying a millionaire or not being
true.
financially prudent. So
Yeah.
$2 is a much better way to do it.
Sam Bibley
Oh,
likes
thanks,
Dave
Sam Bib.
Sarah.
Yeah,
Sassy Dave.
Sassy Dave. The I know it's getting lame now too. Look, in the Twitch days when I was selling manufacturing machinery, there was a year in there in like 2017, 2018, somewhere around there. I mean, I probably made almost $180,000 selling manufacturing machinery. I must have given away $7,000 on Twitch. Looking back on it, it's retarded. You know, it's not even 10% of my thing. You know, people give 10% to their church, of their salary to the church. This is kind
I'm
of like some
tithing to the
people's churches.
Devilverse.
Yeah.
Well, look, it sounds ridiculous, but this is some people's church. So to say, you shouldn't spend your money here and there, go fuck yourself, spend your money however you want. However, it's
If you're
still my right.
entertained, send the money, man. You know,
Send the
like
money.
I'm not telling anyone. Somebody said I'm a player hater
100%.
and I don't want people to get paid.
No,
Like I would like KB to do and no offense to your daddy, but I'd like KB to do a better show, and he might do a better
that's not
show
gonna
if
happen.
people stop giving him money to just
Maybe.
make it lazy. Today, I don't
Maybe.
know. I don't know if you guys saw, but KB turned on the super chat machine around 4
Machine.
p.m. Eastern today, right
Yeah,
around
and
the
it
time
broke.
that Ray went live with Hope.
Bah.
Guess how much Ray made on super chats today with
Good,
Hope?
and that's how it should
He made
be.
$188. Guess how much KB made during that same hour
Maybe
that he sniped?
$40.
$22.
Wow. Good.
He
But
for $100 like
Good.
that, you could do better at McDonald's, KB.
You
Like
can.
so, and so I was kind of happy to see that. Not because I wish KB to not make money or be profitable. He said maybe 10 words in an hour. He just turned it on and he just sat there with his mouth agape and just expected the super chats to roll in or to get the funny comments to kind of troll Ray. And it kind of backfired. So like come up with something new or make it truly transformative, tell a couple of jokes, and then add some value. That's all I'm saying.
yeah, hey, both of you hang on one second, because I want to get back to this. But NJ Ranger 201, that didn't prevent Chad from immediately shit talking him afterwards. That was the Atlantic City thing going back earlier. I just wanted to. NJ Ranger is one of my favorite people to watch in the Dabbleverse, and I haven't seen him in the chat before, so I wanted to acknowledge him. But yes, exactly. Chad just fucked up with that. NJ Ranger, I met him at Ray's birthday party, and he's a nice guy. I liked him. He's a nice guy, but I've watched him on shows, and he's way more intelligent than your average Dabbleverser. And yeah, I'm like, I like that he uses big words so eloquently and without effort, and it's pretty cool. But
Wasn't
he's
he
a
doing
very
a show with Kevin Soundboard? Whatever happened to that show? What that
Yeah, I
thing
don't
kind of
know.
disappeared. Kevin Soundboard got sick
I didn't
after
mind.
AC, and then he like quit the show. It's kind of
I
weird.
didn't mind the show. I liked watching and listening to the show. I liked falling asleep to it. A lot of times too was just like playing old episodes of Burning Bridges and stuff like that. And like
I
I'm
thought
okay
we had
with
a
that.
budding rivalry because Kevin Soundboard was talking a lot of shit about me in AC, saying that
Oh,
I
was
was
he?
trashing his
Oh,
wife or whatever, which was couldn't be
oh.
further from the truth. So so yeah, I was just wondering what happened to Kevin Sound. I thought it was like the official after show of MLC, but oh, they've been
he and
moving. Okay,
he
yeah,
and
that's what's up.
Melton
Aren't-
had some sort of problem that they worked out. And
Kevin Soundboard.
yeah, and I appreciated, I like the way Melton handled it, because it's kind of what I try to tell people and try to do myself, which was walking up to the guy and saying, "I heard you had a problem with me. What's it about?" You know, and getting it done so that it's not lingering in
Did
the air.
Melton did that to Kevin Soundboard?
Everybody's uncomfortable. Yeah, they talked, but I don't know what it was
That would
about.
be pretty imposing. Like, and Melton's not really like a super aggressive dude. Like, it seems he's almost kind of aloof in public. But if that big old guy walked up to me and said, "Hey, so I hear you have a problem with me," I'd be like, "Ooh,
Well,
that's a little
Kevin
intimidating."
is not a little guy either. So it
True.
wasn't like the big giant versus the midget,
That's true. Yeah, Kevin
Um,
Soundboard is not a small dude.
right. And the other thing with Melton though is he does have an advantage. His size gives him an advantage, right? Like if somebody,
And that hunchback, he can like
if
almost like see over the top of you with
if
the way his.
Chad walked up to you and said, "Oh, you had a problem with me," you go, "Fuck you, Chad," right? Like you're not going to do that to the guy that's
Well,
6'5",
if Melton thought that I was talking shit to him, and then he came up to me at an event and said, "I heard you have a problem with me," I'd say exactly to him what Louis C.K. said to that dog that was shaking in his act, which is, "Are you okay? Are you
No, it was
okay?"
Dave. You're just don't.
That's what I'd say to Melton.
I realize that, and but I was just trying to make a point about how I liked how Melton handled it. Um, but obviously there was more to it. I'm sure. I'm sure it wasn't just a couple of things in the chat because I don't think Melton gives a shit about that. But let's not go there. All
Shmuel, who
right.
do you think is a more talented streamer or podcaster, whatever you want to call it, YouTuber, Melton or Kevin Brennan?
I think Melton is, but because I think that he has more staying power and the ability to carry on the show. I look, to me it's if you're asking me who's funnier, it's Kevin Brennan. Um, if you're asking me who's more talented, maybe it's Kevin Brennan. But who's done the most with what they have? It's Melton.
I'm sure Melton's gonna love to hear that.
Is Brandon Deft here? Can
You're
you
good
clip
with
that
what
one,
you got.
Brandon?
You're good with what you got. Hey, Melton, you're not funnier or more talented than Brennan, but you're so much better
But
than
you get more with
what
what
you
you
got
got.
than him.
Well, Brennan
Light
was
years.
right. Brennan. It's comedy certainly paid more than Melton's comedy, right? Melton doesn't do stand up, and he gave that up. So my personal opinion would be he didn't think it was going to work, and he didn't particularly like doing it. So let's move on to another area, and he's been very successful at that. So
Okay, how about this? If you had to watch one show, a solo show, 2 hours long, would you rather watch Kevin Brennan or would you rather watch Melton?
I'd rather watch Melton. That's an easy one for
Okay.
me. Um,
There he goes. He prefers Melton. Pepsi Challenge, he chose Melton.
well, KB
Well,
doesn't. I just. It's like
that doesn't
he's
surprise me. Shmuel's only
funny
been watching Melton. I mean, only been watching KB for a
a
couple
few
months.
years. Yeah, yeah.
Few
I mean,
years, not even.
right, right. So I don't have a, and I don't, but same thing with Melton. I mean, I don't have a long history with either. Um, but
Okay, I'm going to ask a different question now, Shmuel.
if I thought KB was a 1 second, if I thought KB, if this was a character, and if he didn't do to people what he does, like the Felicia with Pat stuff like that, maybe I would be more inclined to like him. But it's just it pisses me off, so it's hard for me to root for somebody that annoys me.
Like the Ashley Cummings and Whitney Cummings stuff. That's just why I like them. I don't know.
Oh, I don't
can't
even
help
know
it.
about that. Go ahead there, Dan.
Okay,
It's
so
the
if how
same-
about
it's
this?
the same
So
thing.
2 hours show, you have to watch a 2-hour solo show. Would you rather watch Chad Zumach or Ray DeVito?
Ray.
Okay, and why? Why Ray over Chad?
Because I feel like Ray tries, and he's humorous, and I've only seen Chad's whole gimmick is attacking other people. I mean, that's what and look, I'm not the most intelligent or understanding person, so it's like I get an attitude, and that's what it's going to be. So now, if you'd sat me down a few years ago and I had to watch both shows without knowing anything else, is it possible that it could be different? I don't think the result would be different, but I think it's possible it could be different, you know? But I know Ray is funny in on the outside. So I gotta so this guys, let me get back to this. So this is Nick in Fort Wayne. I really don't care how much people make. Well, it's kind of like saying I don't care what the score of the ball game is, because KB's made it so important, and that's the measure that he uses to judge everyone else. So we use that against him. Now we're not using exact numbers. We're talking about trends. And the trend is that he's declining. Not down, but declining. And I mean, that's it. But that leads me to this question. So I was asked a couple times earlier, Johnny Payton, number 8, I remember, was asking about super chats or super tips, like when am I getting it? And I said that I am set up for super tips, and I have the PayPal and the Venmo and all that stuff, but I don't know how to integrate it into the show. So that's why I haven't been doing that. And so let me ask you guys, um, the chat has always been really important. I mean, I only have 150 subscribers, so it's not what you know. Uh, but they're important to me, and I like them, and I like interacting with them in the chat. And I'm afraid that if I like go to super tips or super chats or whatever it is, that I'll then lose that interaction with those
Don't
guys.
be. Trust me, Schmuel. Trust me. You're not gonna forget about the poor chat when you first get your super tips or super chats or whatever. You'll be fine. I think you'll be fine. Believe me.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say, Dr. Chows, I would stay away from the super tip thing. I think that is a little distracting. I think it's kind of it's cute, but it gets old after a while. I think it's a little much. So yeah, I would say probably stay away from that. I think the super chats, you just come up with a system. It's maybe you only look at them every 20 minutes, or maybe you just, if they are part of the conversation you're having, you talk about them, or otherwise you save them, or some people wait till the end of the show and they read through them. I don't think you'd have so many that it would be distracting, at least not at first. Um, and I could say this is to someone who also has a moderate following, not a, I'm not like 100 people in my chat. Like even when I was monetized, and hopefully I'll be back remonetized, there weren't so many of them that it was like overly distracting. I mean, you're reading the free chat right now. It's really kind of an extension of that. So
So
it
we
makes some
just
money, and you can make memberships. That's the smart
just
thing.
yeah.
Get some
I still
memberships.
have I'm coming. I'm close to on watch hours, but I need 500 subscribers. So hit like and subscribe, people. I never say that. Um,
Um,
but that would be awesome. Um,
yeah, everybody talks about these AI voices and all that stuff with super tips, and I'll be completely transparent and honest with this. I don't hate it as much as everybody else does. I think it's a savvy idea. It's not new. Streamlabs and StreamYard, like Streamlab, they've been doing these AI voices. Sure, they're not custom AI voices. That's new. That's kind of cool. I like that. You want to hate it, hate on it. Is it annoying if they come in randomly? Yes, I don't like that. However, a lot of a lot of people in the Twitch world do this. It's nothing new. It's new for 50-year-old boomers. It's new for them. I'm not saying that about you or anybody in chat. I'm just saying that like in general, like yeah, a lot of people on YouTube aren't exposed to this. One thing I will say I don't like about it particularly is it's when you go through these Streamlabs, StreamYards, or any of these programs, they have a level of security that's just different than other, doing it through Stripe or whatever. And I'm not a piece of shit. I don't think Schmuel's a piece of shit. I don't think Melton or Carl, I don't think these people are pieces of shit. So the problem is, don't give your money to people who you think are pieces of shit, and that might dox you. And by doxing, I mean give out your email address or whatever the fuck information that they actually get. It's not a crazy level of information that they get. It's different than what people that are in the donation realm are used to. So I'll say that it's different.
you're into something I'm not. I don't want to. I
But I'm
don't
just
want to
saying.
talk about. Yeah, I want to talk about. I mean, look. To me, it's like I would rather Patrick and Moody wind up with 10% of my money than the giant, Google corporation monopoly um, take 35 or 40. So, um,
Yeah. So,
I,
but I'm
I,
I'm I'm not against it as many people are.
yeah, no,
That doesn't
I
seem as
got it.
nefarious as people think.
Did you guys see Carl? Did you watch the 8 WATP yesterday? I don't know if either of you did. Um,
Yeah.
Where he
but
doxed that one guy,
yeah, I mean, wouldn't call it doxing, but I
or
thought
just
it was really
named his name
stupid.
that he's,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, that's the people say anytime you like say a name, like you doxed him. No, he just called out the subscriber that had a negative comment about him, and probably just revealed what anyone knows, that yeah, who the people are that bought the subscription for that show or whatever, and he put in a comment, which to me, what I heard, like it didn't sound outrageous. Like the guy was not. didn't think that the content was fantastic. And from everything that I saw, the videos, it seemed kind of like, a little bit of a letdown, so to speak. I didn't. It did. There wasn't a lot of sizzle to Dabble House, but
Right, but
on
that's
the other
not a
side, you kind of know
justification
what you're
for a
signing up
refund.
for. Like they didn't really say, like, it wasn't like that Mr. Beast thing where they said, "Oh, go to Vegas and you're going to get a Mr. Beast experience," and there's no Mr. Beast experience and you get a T-shirt. It wasn't quite that bad, but it was not exactly, gangbusters.
Yeah. So my thing is, I would have been pissed off at the Richard guy as well because I went to see Moulin Rouge and it sucked balls, which was probably part of it, the play. But I don't get a refund because I don't like the performance. Right? Like if there was something wrong with the stream, if he couldn't get in, if he couldn't see the videos, I'm legit with that product. Well,
That
go
is kind
fuck
of like
yourself.
saying you want a refund on your dinner and you like ate the whole steak. It's like, oh, it was undercooked or whatever, but you ate the whole fucking thing.
Right.
You didn't
It's
send
like
it back.
a chick that I knew that would we would go to the movies like as a group of people, and she would then uh walk to she would like we'd be waiting for her like thinking she was in the bathroom, and she'd go up and tell the movie theater manager she didn't like the movie and complain, and they would give her like a free pass to another movie. And she thought that was like the coolest thing in the world.
That sounds like a
Um,
Ray move right there.
no, I
Sounds like
don't. I don't know that. I don't think Ray would do that. But in any event, the what do you call it? I don't like people trying to freeload. I get that because it happens to me at work. And if you're a sales guy, it's probably happened to you. There's always going to be somebody who's going to try to freeload. Um, and fuck that. Like if you look, if the guy sent it in on Friday and said the product stinks, that would be one thing. But to do it after the show is over, um, I got it. So, but you're like on a pettiness level, zero being a legit complaint by Carl to 10 being very petty. Where do you fall on that scale? I'll tell you, for me, I don't want you to
pettiness by
commit.
Carl.
Yeah, I would say Carl, that was like very petty and
Yeah, that's
very
at
poor.
least an
I
eight.
thought it
It's
was
at
very
least an 8
poor.
on the petty scale. Like,
Yeah.
grow up, dude. Like, don't air like it, either do it, either refund it or don't do it. But talk about it behind the scenes. You don't have to like over one guy. It wasn't like there's like epidemic of people like
There will
trying
be
to
now.
screw you or whatever. Like grow, like come on, dude. And that just goes to show one of two things. Number one, either these guys are so skin thrift or whatever the word is there, of just
Skinflint.
like the money that like that $30 is like a big effing deal to them, because for most businesses you just write it off. You just like, okay, uh, guess what? I'm not going to do business with you anymore. It's like Bronx Tale. I got off cheap. I got off $30. Like now I'd have to deal with you for the rest of my life. You got off cheap. Like why make a big deal of it? It comes off as so effing petty. So like, yeah, I said 8, but it's probably like a 9.5 on the petty scale. Keep it yourself. You look like a little baby whining about that. And then to name the guy's name, you could have just said, yeah, we had this fucking asshole that, wanted the $30 back. Is and
Yeah,
and
that would have
that's
been fine. I
that
wouldn't
would
have
have
had
been
an issue.
fine.
But and also too, it seemed, aside from petty, it seemed a bit stupid business wise, because it's like now he did it. you know, you're like you're telling people how to do this now that they could. Oh, I didn't like it. I can get my money back. You know, a lot of you're not. It's not going to be hordes of people, but yeah, I'm sure everybody's been paid out. Um,
And like,
or
how
or at
often are
least
they
there's
looking
been.
at people's names? It makes you like feel, and not to like Pat, because the Pat situation I think is unique because he was being kind of harassed by Felicia. So I almost give him a pass on that. But like, are these guys really like keeping like listicles or
No.
like spreadsheets of names of people that are, well, Rob Russo is signed up for the Dabble House the last 3 years, and why didn't he do it this year? And then
Right.
like they're
So that's
just
not, yeah, but that's have as a person who has a merchant account and uses that merchant account. Um, we get that information when somebody does a chargeback. That's where it came from. Is the
Mm.
dude doing the chargeback is when I get that information, because I know who. But when you come when I charge you, right? I have the information and I charge you, but I never really look at it again unless there's a suspicion of fraud or somebody makes a claim and says they try to charge back and get their money back. You know, and
Did
then
Carl really try to alpha dog Jake Hudson on his show? Like he was talking shit about Jake Hudson? Is that a
no,
joke or is
absolutely
that
no, no. It's
okay?
which
He's
well, I
just
don't want to get I
Detroit by
Oh,
Dark is just
yeah.
maybe he's just goofing.
Let's get to that.
'Cause if that's the case, like you're picking on some like slow guy, like Jesus Christ, man.
no, no,
That's
no. Jake deserves it. Trust me.
If Carl was, this is NJ Ranger, if Carl was such a badass doing so well, why does he sweat one disappointed customer? He hated when SJ spelled out his last name. Uh,
Carl's a little bit of a can we call out Carl as a little bit of a hypocrite on things? Like he tends to be say one thing and then he kind of does another thing. Like his especially lately, his track record's been a little spotty on things. Like he's like his whole show was built around making fun of silly podcasts and how goofy they are. And now he's like in bed with Shuli, which is like as much of a podcast that deserves a who are those podcasting jocktobers of any show. And he's like acts like the Shuli network is the height of broadcasting.
I,
Um,
I am a Shuli Network fan, so
oh, you're the
I
one?
I wouldn't. Yeah, no. Listen, I look. I get that you have. If I have a friend, right, and my friend does something fucked up, I'm probably not going to point it out. Probably not going to cover it, right? Um, so unless it was so egregious that it needed to be. But somebody suggested to me that he's becoming like the people he covers,
Yes.
and I thought, gee, I wonder if that happens. Like, you know,
He stared into the abyss too long. The abyss is staring back at him now.
staring back, right? He's yeah, and you become that. So I don't know, man. Um, maybe that's it. But I was on yesterday's show to do the Detroit by Dark thing. Carl spent time in a show alpha dogging Jake Hudson. I don't feel like I don't think he was alpha dogging Jake Hudson. You know what happens with Jake is when Jake wants you on his show, he doesn't plan anything out. He just sends you a link. And I don't know about you guys, but I feel bad. You know, uh, I don't even see them. I shouldn't say half the time. It's not like I get them a lot, but I haven't seen them, or I can't just hop on and yeah, I'm busy.
He sent me a
Carl went a
link
little
the
bit.
other
Oh,
day at 10:30 a.m. He said, "Hey, I need you to jump on with me." And I was like, "Dude, I'm at fucking work." Like, what?
right.
Like I don't 10:30 a.m. is like the exact wrong 10:30 a.m. on like a Wednesday is probably the worst time to try to get me to go on a show. Like
Right.
that's not how my world works, Jake. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Carl went into
Luckily,
how Carl is on a schedule and he doesn't have
yeah.
downtime. So um it was a little torturous, but I
Yeah.
didn't feel like he was big
Luckily 2 a.m. on a Tuesday is perfect for me. So I've been on with him. And I'll admit one thing about Jake. Once you get on the show, and if you're into like the Dabbleverse stuff, it's actually he's actually a pretty entertaining interviewer. Like he asks you,
he's fun to
like
be on the show with. Like I
he's
like
pretty he's
he's personable. He's like
yeah,
interesting, in his very Jake Hudson way about
he's
him.
pretty knowledgeable about the stuff that he talks
Hey
about.
Dan, remember when Shuli said this thing to like he'll have
Yeah,
like
yeah,
some random thing he'll talk about it. I'm like, oh yeah, that's right,
yeah.
Jake.
But I mean, I like he took Joey C's side over me, and I can't accept that. So
uh, I've only been on his show once and I was hoodwinked into it. It was Thanksgiving last year and
wow,
Liam sent me a link
that's hilarious.
and I was like, oh, I'll hop on with Liam. It was at a time I was trying to figure out who Liam was, and I wanted to interview him on a show. And I was like, oh, I'll go on a show for a few minutes, and I wound up on Jake Hudson's show. So, Permaseal, I like all three of yous, and
We like you too, Permaseal.
we do. Even Dave Sorass is happy for you.
Yeah, man. I talk a lot of shit, but it just means I like you. If I don't talk shit, you'd be worried.
Schmuel, this is from Ozone. Schmuel, did you know Mir would be so aggressive regarding race, religion, etc.? I did not. But you know, I did what I did. I mean, I answered the way I want. I think it's a little.
Oh.
I don't want to say childish. I think simplistic. You know, the way these guys think about stuff. But it wasn't like I let it go unchallenged, especially the not believing in interracial relationships. I was like, what? What? You know?
Does Little Mir not believe in interracial relationships?
No, he does not believe in interracial relationships.
But he doesn't think that they're real? That he doesn't believe they exist?
No, he doesn't approve of them.
Oh, right. Okay.
Right? He doesn't approve of
He's a
that.
good old boy.
He doesn't approve of people of the Jewish faith, apparently.
Oh, I know. Well, that's where I think he was going to try and get me on that. I think he thought he was going to have a real gotcha moment when he started bringing up the Hebes, and I think I was let's just say I
Do you think I should have? Do you think I should have
anyway.
pushed back on Mir when he called my sister a faggot about 30 times? Do you think I should have pushed back a little bit more, or should I just roll with the punches on that one?
Now you were on with just Mir, right?
For the first 40 minutes was just Mir, and then Chow joined like about halfway in.
Because I'm gonna say, but I'm gonna Ozone. I was secretly in your camp, Shmuel, but I couldn't break character. Oh, you did a hell of a job. I'll tell you that. I was like, wow, this Ozone guy really doesn't like me. But so, and was he drinking?
Such a bitch, Schmuel.
Oh yeah, he was.
Such
He
a
was definitely
little
drinking, just
wine
like with you.
bitch.
He was drinking his little, lemonades or whatever, his little Mike's Hard lemonades or whatever he was drinking. You know, he had those things going. He was pounding them.
Because his, the level of racism and not understanding nuance increased as the twisted teas became more frequent. You know,
I think
So-
that's part. I think it's the show. But yeah, Ozone. It's funny, Ozone, because when you talk shit to Schmuel, especially the first few times, Schmuel would send me messages like, I don't know why Ozone hates me. Like,
I didn't do that.
I don't know what I did to him.
Stop being a fucking asshole, Dave. Jesus
know
Christ.
what
You're
I-
like, Ray DeVito says to me, that Ozone guy doesn't like you.
Why doesn't
Oh
Ozone
my
like
God.
me?
No. This is when I knew Schmuel Buckin was a good egg. He. This is a real message. This not like about Ozone. He didn't send me a message. This is a real message. He goes, do you know who Decline Host is? He goes, are you Decline Host? I was like, what, dude? No, I don't know who Decline Host is. Seems like a good guy. I wouldn't be scared of him. I'm sure it's gonna be fine. But these people can be mean. I mean, they can be mean.
Why doesn't
and
Sam
funny.
V like me?
No, it wasn't.
Yeah.
It was Decline Host, I thought was a little bit over the top.
He has his moments.
He was
I've
he was it
noticed
was
that.
it was a little, and so, and I was new to this, and I didn't know how to take it. Like, is this guy serious, or is this just trolling? Because he's like, Citizen M is making a documentary about you, and he was like accusing me of stuff. So I, of course, do what I would do. I sent Citizen M a message, and I said,
no.
hey man, I don't know why you would, it's like watching paint dry, but if you're making a documentary about me, I'd be more than happy to help. So
no.
let me know. But yeah. So Chair, hey Schmuel, I'm falling asleep to the show. Please don't send anyone else the link unless it's Crumb. No, Crumb will not be here. Crumb was done for the day. And I have to have a little talk with Mr. Crumb. I had no idea of Mr. Crumb's history. So that's
What's his history?
people are telling me that he was like a real fighter on Discord and like would get upset and yell at people and stuff. And I heard you said that he said it on your show tonight, Dan, right?
I
Dan
mean,
left.
he just Crumb. I look. I've
No,
had,
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
No, I know you. No, I know you're kidding. No, but there's. I get what you mean. Yes, you get you're kidding. We're joking here, but there is an honesty to the thing, which is like, yeah, like I've had it maybe a half dozen interactions with Crumb, like in on stream together, not including chat. One of them was drunk, and yeah, he could be a little annoying, just like most people who are drunk, like they can get a little annoying. It's just here's the thing about that.
Okay,
It's
can I interrupt you for
Yeah,
1 second?
sure.
Don't overthink this. The
I
reason
know.
why I was saying that was because I've known Crumb only as like the smooth jazz DJ, you know?
Yeah.
He's been like super mellow and super. So I was like, wait, what is this history that I don't know about?
Yeah, and
Go
it's and it's I'm sure I think a lot of it has to come from the NLO Discord, which there's a certain community is not the right word. Like
You're
when
not
you go on
talking
a
about
golf course,
Spurtopia, right? You're talking
not
about the NLO?
Spurtopia, no NLO. What when you play golf? What do they call it? Like what's the word? Like not cordial. Anyway, I'm trying to think of the word like the
Is this ozone? If you think YouTube chat is dark, Discord is the ninth ring of hell.
well, yeah, I mean, just Discord can get crazy, but but what I'm trying to say is that there's a culture. There's like a culture of what? Okay, I think what a lot of people got pissy with Crumb was that when you go into a Discord channel, like you can't like just be talking over people, and I think you would just get drunk and just talk over people, and then that annoys the other 12 people in chat sometimes. But the people that are complaining about Crumb are like, there some well-known people in the NLO sphere or the Dabbleverse sphere that these people are not like, they're not soft people. So that's what worries me a little bit, that these people that are not soft are worried a little bit about Crumb. Now, am I worried because I thought that they were not soft and they are soft? Or Crumb is really that much of an issue that like maybe he won't act like this on a stream or a live stream, but maybe he can be annoying in a Discord chat, which are very different things.
Yeah. I was just more interested in that he's so fucking mellow, right? When we're on the air and stuff. And I'm like, wait, is this Jekyll and Hyde? And I also I would find it interesting. Detroit by Dark, send Clearwater Chad the link. Not gonna happen. Clearwater is on his own path, and I
Rather
will.
send Detroit by Dark the link.
Detroit by Dark. Do we know Detroit by? Do you know Detroit by Dark?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't. Let's.
He just started he just started doing his own streams. Go follow
cool.
him. Go follow him. He plays some video games
follow.
too. Yeah.
Follow
Very
and
nice
watch
super
Detroit
chatter.
by Dark. Sam Bibley. I love Spurtopia. I don't know anything about it except Spurtopia is for families.
We got to find out if that Ray in there is the real Ray. Something tells me it's probably not the real Ray because I have Ray's original Discord channel as a Discord account as my friend, and currently we're not in any mutual channels together. So that Ray DeVito in Spurtopia may not be the real one. And also, I find it a little hard to believe that Ray DeVito would make his description on Discord punks, or put a description at all if he made a second Discord name, because it would make sense. Discord can be a little finicky, so you could easily maybe lose your login or something. So
yeah, I don't know. Jesse Moore, dang, R.I.P. Joe Rogan. So sad. I know he's got Chad. Chad is looking him down. Joe's running scared.
All right, rest in peace. Joe Rogan used to be a thing in like every single YouTube live
Oh,
chat.
really?
Rest in
That's
peace, Joe
funny.
Rogan. Rest in peace, Brian Callen.
Oh, that's funny. Some of the trolls on the chat I always thought were fucking hilarious, and
Sure.
one of them, the one that I used to love was, and I've said it a million times, is when they used to tell Bob Levy he was muted,
Oh yeah,
and he would
that's an
just
old
get
bit.
like all frustrated with his mic
No,
and all that shit.
that's an
And
old bit.
uh, I do believe this the infamous TJ? Is that teams?
Is that
Is
the
that
real
Teamster
TJ? We could
Tim?
find out.
Uh, I don't know how to find out, but
The
I
fake
also
Felicia Gillespie is hilarious. Who there's the fake Anthony Cumia is funny, all very funny also.
right.
Um there was a really good fake too. I gotta remember. I can't. No, wait. Chris Mack. uh, when you say that's him, I know there is the real Anthony Cumia account, but I assume the one that I'm talking about that super chatted KB a couple of weeks ago or a couple maybe a week
That's
ago or so.
him. He
I
said it was him.
he said it was him.
He said it was him. Yeah.
So that account is the actual real Anthony
The
Cumia account?
Compound Media. Yeah.
No, 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 no. Oh, okay, so that's the real TJ. Okay. Yes, yes, yes. No, the Compound Media account we know. There's an Anthony Cumia account. Okay. Sorry, Chris Mack. Okay, yeah, he's a little bit behind. So I got confused. Yes, that's the real TJ. But TJ got a little torched by Melton the other day. I didn't think it was. I didn't think it
I
was.
I
Go on.
couldn't find it.
It's. I mean, it was a 4-hour episode, but it was actually one of the better Melton episodes I'd watched in a while. And I'm not. That's not me throwing shade. It's just in general, watching solo podcasts is hard for me, including KB. So, but yeah, TJ kind of took the brunt end of, and I think I was agreeing with TJ too, and Melton was getting a little pissy about something. I can't remember exactly what it was.
Here he is, Crumb.
You are a nice guy, Prom.
We know you're a nice guy. I was just saying that I'm finding out about this sordid past, and I've only known you as such a soft, sweet guy. I gotta hear the dirt.
Okay. So
Can't
hold
be
on.
all
This is
threesome
this is
stories
what
on
I'm
our
talking
show.
about here. This is what I'm talking about here. Ray had 2 counts and all because he forgot. So it might be the second one that it might actually be real. But again, his description says punk, and I can't find. I can't. I don't see myself believing that Ray would write that in his description for Discord.
TJ, he's no match for me. I wasn't there. That was so he wrestled Brennan to the ground.
What do you mean?
Teamster
No,
Tim.
no, he didn't. No, he just
Oh,
he didn't wrestle him to the ground. You talking
well,
about that thing in AC? No.
yeah. Tim was
No.
very lubricated that night.
Yeah,
So
that's fine. Tim's great.
was
Tim's another
I was,
legend, bro.
yeah. He's such a Tim is a good guy,
Yeah,
and
I pay
and-
respect to all those MLC Burning Bridges legends. Rickosaurus. KB hates all of them now. So
and yeah, Tim was I don't know. Tim's a good guy. We've done some charity work together, and it's been
That's nice.
It's been good, and so Nick from Fort Wayne says, "Whoa, Sam, that was the wrong one there, guys." Nick from Fort Wayne says Crumb is a good egg.
Hi, Nick from Fort Wayne.
I like the Crumb. That's why we have him on. That's why we work together.
I thought it was Stevie
Leo,
Lou.
Kevin said Tim wrestled him to the floor immediately upon entering his hotel room.
I thought
Yes.
that was Stevie Lou.
That he wrestled
I could be
Stevie
wrong.
Lou?
I could be wrong.
I no, and Leo could mean him being Stevie Lou.
No, I think it's Tom. Anyway.
Oh.
Hey, hold on, right there. I'm gonna put this real quick. Detroit by Dark. Send Spider the link. Okay, so I still don't know 100%, but that Spider Alamar on Twitter, I already assumed is not the real Spider Alamar. I don't know. I sent that Spider Alamar a message asking if that's the real him. I've asked people if that's the real Spider Alamar. The people I've asked don't seem to think so. Okay. But I am trying to get in. I am trying to get in touch with Spider for him to come on my show.
I tried the
And
Twitter
maybe
account. Spider says that's not his Twitter
okay,
account.
okay.
But it's hard to know because he was doing what's the word that I'm looking for? He was doing Joey C's show and Joey was giving him shit. Because Spider said he wasn't going to do Joey C's show anymore, that he was quitting YouTube and or quitting the show, and Joey thought it was real, and that's why I think everybody else thought it was real.
Okay.
So who knows? All right, we should start heading towards wrapping it up. How was doing MLC? Did you enjoy that?
good.
Right?
I enjoy it. Yeah, I try not to be insufferable. I try to be funny. I don't know. I try my best. And you know, it's nice. I get when I have a good show, people let me know. When I have a bad show, people send me death threats. It's just the way it is. I don't know.
Frank Schmuel, do you think Liam hasn't been around a lot lately because he's scared of the Cavs? I look. I don't have any answers for why he hasn't been around. I just think that he's not. I don't know. Based upon what he said on a couple of shows, like he was apologizing for having gone on Dixon's show and whatnot. I think he's just laying low in general because he doesn't want to upset his West Coast friends. And a significant portion of like the Dabbleverse are Trump people, you know. So I don't know if he's allowed to be associated with them or not. So I don't really know. But I did agree with you tonight, David, about the quitting school, like even for a September or a semester, is tough. I was actually going to send him a note and say, be careful because a semester can turn into forever, like that's what happened to me. But
I don't think it will for him. I have confidence in him. It is a little like I don't really know what his personal life is, so it could be not great.
right, it could be any right, it could be any.
Liam is is older than me, and so we know he has a mother that's alive. That's all I'll say, right? Because we don't want to piss him
Right.
off. And so you never know with these old people. So I hope nothing's wrong with him and his family. I hope if he needs to take it off for mental, I get it.
No, but he's been
School's-
doing povos. He's been on povo
Well, that's the thing too. So I'll say one thing about Liam, which I said this on Povo's show when I was on with him, which is the reason why I think Liam likes that show, that Povo show, is because unlike me, like I've been on IRC, I've been on the internet, and I've been like on voice chats and this type of medium for like a really long time. Like at this point, almost 10 years just on Discord. In a year, it'll be almost 10 years just on Discord. And I understand the dopamine effect that can give you when you go into voice chats and you have fun. And then like we talk about the green room hang, it in some places it can feel like that, like the green room hang. And I feel like Liam has found that with Povo, which is great. And like he's connecting, and it's nice because it's late. He doesn't have to be on camera. He can kind of just be doing whatever, and then just kind of chat with these guys sort of nonchalantly in a casual format. And I think he likes that. But what that did was also show to him that like he doesn't need this to like fulfill that desire, if that makes sense.
I guess. I thought he
this
was
is
on
like a
camera
drug.
when I've watched
Here and
Povo.
there.
He's
Here
been
and there.
on camera.
Yeah, here and there.
So, but hey, man, I will say people shit on him on Reddit, and he does respond. So,
Yeah.
He did explain why he was not in school, but I actually didn't read it, so I shouldn't comment on it. But I don't know. Making commenting on Liam is always fun for me. Scooney, and then we're gonna go. Clowntown stinks. The Papa Kill dude is a fake tough guy, and the rest of the dudes are corny as fuck. Big W is okay though.
Yeah, Big Dub is good, and I like Malware's again. And again, those guys are fine. Whatever. Let them get monetized, and I hope that their show does fantastic.
Yeah,
But the best
hey
shows are
man,
the ones that I'm on.
I know. You know what? I will say that but monetization is also like
It's a double-edged
it's
sword.
it's kind of fake though in a way, because it's like if you I mean you can anybody can work towards monetization and you can get there, but it's not going to do anything for you if you're not putting out content. If you're not
Well,
doing streams, if you're not working at it. I mean, I don't know, maybe you could make $10-20 a month on it, I guess, which is fine. But I just like, I don't know. People keep asking me when I'm going to be monetized, and I don't feel like the goal is to be monetized as much as it is to try to build a better product. And
sure.
but
Yeah.
I didn't think about what you said before, and you were right about like memberships. I had that had not dawned on me.
But what?
So
What about the memberships?
you said people can buy memberships,
Well,
right?
yeah, but you should make sure that you have like I don't have any membership content. So I don't have membership activated. That's why I'm trying to get KB to put emojis at least. Cuz guys, and I should actually talk to him and tell him to reduce the membership down to 299. And I think that actually will increase his membership numbers. Uh and B will, if you add like the emojis to the at least it means that whenever you change it to members only chat, you can chat, and also you can use the emojis. Other than that, that's why KB doesn't really get a lot of gifted memberships or people buying memberships in general, because there's no membership content. So I personally couldn't do that to I personally wouldn't have it as an option. He has it, whatever. But that's also too, like, when your channel gets monetized, Schmuel, you're gonna find that like if you're if you're not a piece of shit, then like it actually discourages you from just willy-nilly going live and doing shows like it does for me, because I personally, um because I'm monetized, and because a guy like Detroit by Dark will come in and maybe give me $2, or a guy like you come in and maybe give me $5, like I think twice about going live, because personally, I don't want to just do some kind of bullshit show and then get that money just for the $7. Like, if I feel bad taking it, it feels like a grift almost.
Right. It's interesting to say. I don't. I personally, I could stream more than I do. Like I could just pop on with stuff, but I, I don't feel like I have anything, so I don't want to do it. And this is kind of the first real rando, like where I was driving home and said, "No, I'm going to do this." But that's because there was a bunch that happened today, and I
Mhm.
didn't do my regular show tonight because of Mir Musk or whatever. I keep calling it Mir Musk, Chow and Mir. Ozone, not only is there no membership content, but KB deletes the videos immediately after, so you can't watch them. And
Yeah.
I had a uh, I had a KB membership that was gifted to me, and I couldn't. It didn't seem to make any difference.
Yeah. Yeah. And then people are, they're still chatting about it right now. Yeah, it's true. Ozone 100%. He gives at least that's why I'm saying let's try to reduce that to 299. Let's try to get some emojis at least. That's at least there's something for the value. Um, Now I will say this too. Um, I admittedly told KB months ago, before he started taking down his videos, I told him that removing the DVR would probably help his Patreon numbers. Okay. And I think that it did, and I think that's true. Now, the problem with that is that now he's not leaving the videos up, and he's removed the DVR function, which is kind of shitty for the super chatters themselves. Melton has removed the DVR function, but he leaves the videos up afterwards. So
the
if you're
DVR
a super
function is,
chatter,
you're just saying, is that just downloading it? Is that what we're
no,
talking
no,
about?
no, the function to where you can rewind while the
Oh,
stream
okay.
is
All right.
live.
All right. I got you. All right. I got you.
Yeah.
All right.
So to me personally, like as a super chatter myself, and while I did tell KB that, that was under the contingency that he was leaving the episodes up. Now that he's taking down the episodes and they're DVR'd, I feel bad for the super chatters that maybe missed their super chat. Like today, Permaseal or Age of Coral even said like put a 1 in chat if your super chat didn't get read by KB or whatever. And like again, like Age of Coral was like, oh, maybe I was in the bathroom. And so that personally I don't like. I've never expressed that to KB. I probably should, but yeah, I don't know, man. It's a touchy thing. Like, I'm over trying to tell KB how to do a show too, because it just gets me in trouble.
Sam
So-
Bibley, this is probably my favorite tweet of the chat of the night. I don't give money to streams because I'm committed to the ethos of Randian objectivism. I support you the best I can with the effort of my chat performance.
Yeah,
Very funny, Sam. That
and
was
let me
great.
tell you, man, people want to talk shit. Any content creator would kill to have 100 ozones or 1,000 Sam Bibleys. You know, most
look,
content
man,
would kill to have those type of fans.
it's shocking to me that at how much talent there is in this universe that we live in. You know, the guys like Tukey coming out of it, or So Thorough, Joe Burrow, Stallion, Doom, those people. But the fucking chatters are also amazing, right?
Yeah.
And I couldn't do this show without them. They kind of make it. And Ozone, KB should be doing a members only show on Saturday. I fucking hate members only shows because I can't minimize YouTube. Right? If I'm on an iPhone, so it may be that, but I can't minimize it. I can't leave it on and look at something else on my phone. And
Can you put up
what are you
ozones?
laughing at there, kiddo?
Right. Notice he made me 10 times as valuable. And no offense, but you guys are right. Like, but here's the thing: if you go into a chat and you see 1,000 people, and they're all Sam Bibleys watching, or you go to a chat and you see 100, and but nobody's super chatting. I'm not picking on Sam Bibley for not super chatting. That's his prerogative. He's a great contributor to shows, and you know, we all started in the chat area, and nobody's obligated to give money. So like, but you see 2 chats, right? There's 1,000 people in one, or 100 in the other. Which one would you rather have? You know, would you rather have the 1,000 people watching you live, but nobody's, you know, maybe nobody's super chatting, or would you like to have the 100 and maybe people are super chatting, you know, every few minutes, $5 here and there, and both are good. Believe it or not, both are good, because if you have 1,000 people watching, you know, you could probably make some money. Stalin, like I've been saying this shit about Stalin and Doom and whatever, and like Stalin could testify. You know, if he puts out 2 clips a day is a lot. He's done 2 clips a day. We've seen it. If he does 2 clips a day every single day, and he gets 3,000 to 4,000 hits on every single one of those, not including ones that do more or do less, just to say 3,000 or 4,000, he's making $25 a day. And that shit adds up probably. And it's not terrible. It's not terrible. So I get it.
Opinion.
It's fun.
At Scooney, I think KB just sees it as a head. He's also 64. He can't wrap his head around why a lot of stuff is useful. I think they might have fucked that up there, but We get the point.
Oops,
I
sorry.
I tend to disagree. I think I think Kevin has always been paranoid, and as he's gotten older, he's just very paranoid. You know,
Well, what do you
about
mean by paranoid?
YouTube and what's going to happen to him, and
Wow.
that he's going to get canceled or something like that. That's my guess. But
I think at this point now, right this second, you're incorrect. I think a year ago today or 6 months ago, I'd say you are correct. But I think now he's so close to retirement. I don't think he wants to lose his channel. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying that sure, look, nobody wants to lose their channel. I don't think he's as paranoid as he was in the past because I think at this point, I think in a few months we might see a world where KB's only going live once a week.
it's funny, Dave, that you say that, and I'm going to close on this thought. I saw his Twitter post tonight about Joe's wife, right? Producer Joe's wife, and
Sure.
it was pretty. To me, it was pretty shitty. And I'm like, it's like it almost feels like he's trying to get chased away, but I mean, I don't know, but it feels like it feels like he doesn't want to quit, but if he got thrown out, he'd be fine.
Yeah,
with
it'd
that.
martyr him. It would martyr him. Sure.
But
100%.
but the other thing too is like if you're KB and you're in retirement, right? Like say he's 65 or whatever,
Yeah, May
right?
2nd.
You're retired, just fucking do like he could just do a show a week, like
That's what I'm saying.
he doesn't have to do what he's doing, but I don't know. It feels desperate, but it also feels to me like KB's got an evil plan. And
I don't know if this is true or not. This is me just talking. It could just be all bullshit, but I there must be something a little bit behind the scenes that we don't know about that happened between specifically Shuli and Carl and KB. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's true. It's all pure speculation. But for him to be this upset, as like there seems for him to treat Carl's brother that way, and again, I've never met KB. I don't. All I know is from what other people say about him and what I've been watching for 10 years. So it's just gay to even talk about this because I don't even know the guy. But Julia and KB, Carl must have said or done something really shitty. I don't know though. I don't know.
well, let's hope we're going to say Mr. Blue Sky, and I'm going to prove you wrong because I am going to end. I want to close on the subject, means that we're halfway through. Look, I hope the Davilerverse ends with Shuli, Carl, KB, and everybody else in that Freddie Mercury picture where all the guys
that's
are,
hilarious.
that would be the best. So, Dave, Sarah, thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks,
I
buddy.
really enjoyed it. Hey, everybody who has chatted and watched the show, you're the best. Thank you guys for coming
hold on
on.
one
Please
second.
like and
Hold on one second.
subscribe.
Let's
It's
see,
at
if I-
Schmuel Buckman on YouTube, which you know because you're here, and at Buckman Schmuel on Twitter. Give us a like, give us a follow, and
If I go
we'll
live
be
on
back.
my stream right now.
All right, Dave is going live on Dave
Well-
Sarah. So
Should I just do it? Let's see here.
good night,
Yeah.
kids.
Okay.
I am out of here. Hit the like button, everybody, on the way out. Thank you. Good night.